What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sakina, and I'm back with another review. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 17, episode 16. Be sure to check us out tonight for the Whether You Like It or Not panel hosted by Scotty by Nature TV. It'll be at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, so make sure that y'all come back and check us out later today. Also, do not forget that I am still on the road to 7K followers. Subscribers. Look, this is not Instagram. I got about 9 subscribers left to get there. So if you genuinely connect with the content, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We could be dating right now. You know, you scoping the scene out, watching a few videos, trying to determine whether or not you want to hit the subscribe. I understand. I'm the same way. I have to watch a few, videos and things before I get into a new YouTuber, X, Y, and Z. So I totally understand where you're coming from. But if you genuinely like what I put out, then make sure that you subscribe. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Oh yeah, your girl is getting braids on Wednesday, and I cannot wait. My hair does look good. I mean, I blow dried it out a little too much. I was trying to stretch it out the other day, so now it look like it's just a little too straight right there at the root. But I'm also getting some straight strands in the front. And quite frankly, I'm tired of wearing that bob. I'm tired of wearing my hair straight. And then also at the same time, with the heat and the weather, I'm kind of frustrated with wearing my natural hair too, even though that's what I would prefer. But I'm so finicky when it comes down to my fro. A lot of times I don't like the way it lays sometimes. All signs are leading to me getting braids. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do that. I booked my appointment. And so your girl gonna be feeling new again come Wednesday. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this because this was a pretty good episode to me. The ladies are back in Atlanta finally. I feel like that Scotland trip was terrible. It was not enjoyable whatsoever. But we opened up with Shamia talking to her attorney, Maximilian, and she's telling him that she really didn't get a chance to enjoy Scotland. So production is asking in her confessional how exhausting the trip was for her, and she was like, no, we're not even gonna talk about that. Like, we're gonna focus on this rum launch. That's what I want to talk about. And so we see her and her attorney talking about the party that she's getting ready to throw. She's like, everything is coming up. They're headed to partnership, and they have equity stake in the U.S. operations for the rum company. And her attorney was like, yeah, I mean, not from the contract that they sent today. The contract that was sent today only has the opportunity for them to sell at wholesale price. And Shamia feels like she wasted her time. She already has Gerald, in the back of her mind, not really being fully on support. She's afraid that he might hit her with "I told you so." But she's feeling like it's all in the rum company's hands at this point. But the show must go on. She's still going to have the party. And we see a flashback of her having the girls mold their asses. I said, child, what is this party going to be? Because, I mean, what's going on? Now we see that it's Drew who is doing the butt molding in the flashback. I said, poor Drew. Everybody can't have a fatty, okay? And I love that. You have to embrace all natural bodies and sizes and all of that. But I'm thinking this might be the motivation that Drew needed to go ahead and get her mommy makeover redone and get her BBL. I said, baby, her Atlanta starter package is in full-fledged, ain't it? She got her gold naked hair, her BBL. When y'all see her in the brown jumpsuit, that's her fresh off the table, baby. Okay, she just got her operation done when you see that brown jumpsuit in her confessional. Okay now, Drew. But I'm pretty sure she's gonna reveal it at the reunion. I can't wait to see what it look like. Now we see Kay and her husband, they going on this date. And she is hiding her feet. She doesn't want anybody to see her feet. And I'm like, now I'm even more intrigued to see what's going on underneath them socks. Now, she said that her toes are long. And I'm like, I can attest to that. I got long toes too. You see this? This what my feet look like. Okay? This my big toe. This my second toe. Longer than the first. And I used to be real insecure about that growing up. Really insecure. And I've already told y'all a few times, if I had the opportunity to get any cosmetic surgery, it would be on my feet because I'm flat-footed on top of that. So I have long, narrow feet with long toes and no arch. Blame my dad. My dad gave me these damn feet. This man cannot deny me if he wanted to because I literally have his feet. And he got my granny's feet. It was past a generation, okay? This is the I was gonna say my last name. A lot of y'all don't need to know my last name, but that's my family's feet, okay? Like, goodness gracious. But I have embraced the fact that my second toe is longer than my first. I'm no longer insecure about it. And it's funny how you grow up and you think about all the things that you used to be insecure about that you no longer give a fuck about. I used to be insecure about the stretch marks on my breast. Don't care about that. My toes being longer than, don't care about that. It's some other stuff that I just really don't care about no more either. So it's just like, take it for what it is. But I want to see what her toes look like. But shout out to all the long toe girlies. Charles and Angela, they joined them for a tantric yoga session. And you already know with tantric stuff, it gives a lot of sensuality, positions, and all of this stuff to like basically connect with your partner sexually, but not at the same time. But anyway, Kay says in her confessional that her and Angela, they talk all the time. They check on each other off camera. And Kay said that after the Scotland trip, she doesn't look at Angela any different because at least she puts it out there on the table. And that's a girl that she can respect. Girl, what? You mean to tell me that you condone the lies, basically? That's what you're saying to me. Because that's what Angela was doing in Scotland. And I think it's very funny that she has to proceed with caution when it comes down to Porsha, rightfully so, but doesn't have the same mindset when it comes down to Angela, and you seen her lying. Now, it was a problem when Porsha was lying on Kelly, but you don't feel no type of way about her lying about Shamia, somebody that you real close with? Why are you picking and choosing? That's very odd to me. So as they're going on with the session, of course, Charles is not following directions. I would not be surprised because this is very intimate. We already know he don't even like to kiss his wife, let alone be doing some damn double date tantric yoga session. Like, come on, be for real. But after they wrap up the session, Angela asks Kay, has she spoken to Shamia since they've been back? Kay said no, she doesn't really know what's going on. She doesn't have any type of details. And Angela is like, Shamia knows how to set the tone to be a victim. She's a professional victim. I agree. Shamia sometimes does play victim. Yes. But when it comes down to the situation between her and Angela, I don't really know what's going on there. Like, let's speak about Scotland, though, because I feel like what Angela was doing about the whole George thing, that was unwarranted. That was unnecessary. It was weird. So she's allowed to be a victim in that, especially because, yes, nobody held you accountable for the foolery that you were spewing out at that table. Yes, I'm on Shamia's side when it comes down to that. But yes, there's other instances where Shamia is basically bringing all of that shit upon herself. And so Kay feels disconnected from Shamia after the trip. She really doesn't know what's going on. And she said that she's really hurt by it because she talks to Shamia every day. She does want to have a face-to-face conversation with her. And so Kay is telling Angela, Shamia felt bullied and hurt by the ladies in Scotland. And Angela is saying, you're the one that's hurting people. The weapon is in your hands. Until Shamia figures that out, then she'll be a victim in her own mind. Can somebody please remind me, and this is legit, can y'all please remind me what the issue is between Angela and Shamia? Because I genuinely don't even remember. I feel like I can pinpoint what the issue was between her and Drew, but when it came down to Shamia and Angela, is it because Shamia laughed when Porsha threatened to sleep with Charles? Like, I genuinely don't know. Please, y'all help me pinpoint what it is. I'm also feeling like it's very strange that Kay won't call out Angela's contribution to the beef with her and Shamia. Like, again, this lady lied on one of your close friends, and you seem to just be letting her roll with it. It's very confusing to me. We're going to move on, though. Porsha, she at the house, and she's switching some shit around. She got a lot of portraits of her and Simon, and she wants to take those down and replace them with pictures of her and PJ. She says, in the new chapter of her life, Pilar has become her entire world. Why wasn't she that already? Why wasn't she that already? That's the problem. You too busy chasing dick and puss at this point and not prioritizing your daughter. But this ain't my kid. She then admits that she loses herself in relationships and she wants to get back to who she is. At this point, she sold the Duluth house. She's changing pictures. She's doing some healing, and she feels like she's on the right path. Okay. Mike, she's talking to Lauren. And so Mike becomes a topic of discussion. She said that he has been reaching out, but she's been hanging out with Sway a lot. She said that she doesn't want a baby, but she does enjoy his company. And she's wondering whose future aligns with hers the most. Anyway, Lauren asks about her hanging out with the ladies. Porsha feels like it's awkward because of the whole her and Shamia thing in Scotland. She then mentions that Shamia did invite her to her Halloween party and sent her a text. And I was just like, be for real. She also asked Porsha to send a mo to her ass. Shamia, what the fuck, girl? My goodness. Anyway, we see a montage of the ladies doing their own thing. We see Pinky's baby in the studio for her birthday. Angela doing a photo shoot for Fangie. Girl, when is that shit coming out? Because at this point, I think a lot of us have literally forgotten about that. You're literally ticking down when it comes down to the Fangie hype and, you know, all the energy surrounding it. The girl, at this point, nobody gives a damn. They done already ordered all their fans off of Amazon. Anyway, Phaedra, she's getting Aiden ready for prom, all of that cute stuff. We see Kay meet up with Shamia at apartment 4B. Child. The last time I was at apartment 4B, was that last year? No, I don't think that was last year. That was like year before last. Baby, I had went out to do some Christmas festivities, went to a Christmas pop-up with my friends. We was drinking and all of that good stuff. And we was like, hold on, wait. We don't want the party to end. So maybe like around 9, 10 o'clock, we moved on to apartment 4B because they was having like a wind down Wednesday. Yeah, it was a Wednesday night. They was having a wind down Wednesday. So we like, okay, cool. We gonna slide through. We go and we drinking. We having a good time. And I'm like, bitch, I think I done drank a little too much. So we go to the bathroom, and apartment B, the way it's set up, they have like a basement area. So that's where the bathroom is. So we downstairs or whatever, and we walk by and we see that there's a little party going on. So we're like, okay, look like they're having a good time up in here. So we go to the bathroom and we see this lady in there. And of course, you know, girls being girls, we start talking and we ask her, you with the party next door? And she was like, yeah, I am. Y'all come with me. Like, so we come in there with her. We kicking it and stuff. And I'm like, hey, okay. And I'm scoping the room. And I'm like, bitch, that look like Karma. Carmen. Y'all know her. Candy best friend. And true enough, I look over. Candy in the spot too when it crash Candy cousin party. We done went down to the birthday girl and she like, oh my gosh, hey, she hugging us like she know us. And we like, hey, yo, your friend said that we could come in here. She was like, yeah, she hugging us and we take a shot with her. Did too much. Because next thing you know, I end up back in the bathroom. Child, I didn't bleh, all in the trash can. The trash can was open. Shout out to apartment 4B. They actually are temporarily closing, unfortunately. They're allegedly moving to a new location, but we'll have to see about that. But shout out to apartment 4B. Now, yes, that's where they're meeting up at. And Kay is telling Shamia that she's prepping for a listening session. Is we gonna get that next week? Because next week is the season finale, and I ain't seen nothing about Kay's music. Now, to get into the whole Scotland situation, Kay asked Shamia, does she feel like there was a lot of bonding or separation during the trip? What kind of question is that? Like, you already know the answer. Answer that yourself. You already know what it is. And so Kay is like, it takes a real friend to say things when you see them self-destructing. And she's not seeing the loving, fun Shamia anymore. She really just wants to see Shamia smile. She wants Shamia to know that she has people that loves her and doesn't want this failed friendship to basically become her whole personality. And I feel that. I definitely feel that. But when you're in a friend group with somebody that you're no longer friends with, that's very hard to navigate. Especially when it's your closest friend, your best friend. That's really hard. So I can empathize with Shamia when it comes down to, you know, being in a friend group with your closest friend and no longer being in a relationship with them. It's hard to adjust. Okay, brings up the whole Porsha situation, and she said that came out of nowhere. You went low and really fast. You said that Dennis had been sneaking Pilar around you and your husband. Do you know how mad you would be? Hold on. I don't recall nothing being sneaky. So did Kay make that up? Or did they leave that out? I'm leaning towards Kay hearing what she wanted to hear and putting a little spice on the situation. I don't recall that being that. I remember Shamia saying that you no longer wanted PJ around them. Not that they were sneaking around. I don't know. But Shamia was like, should I have put it on social media? Shamia, that's not the point. Like, literally, don't piss me off. That is not the point. It's all about timing and environment. When you call Porsha out, that was not the time nor the place. Again, you are the same one who had been doing all this hooting and hollering about how the women are always in y'all's business, X, Y, and Z. Again, but you brought it to the table. And it was not necessary at the moment. I understand you found the opportunity to slide in something that had been on your mind. But I also feel like you could have mentally tabled that and said something when y'all got back to the house. That's how I would have preferred her to handle it. Obviously, she didn't do that. And because of that, she's now going on this damn apology tour. And so Kay is like, what made you bring that up? Shamia then goes into the whole rundown. I'm not going into that again. But Shamia feels like everybody is starting at the dinner when they need to take it back to what happened last year with Porsha saying what she said last year and bringing that on and saying that online. Shamia, but you, again, this is where you have to take accountability, because we would not have known that y'all mothers were beefing had you not brought it to the show. And I stand firm in that. I know some people feel like Miss Diane said what she said, and I feel like we would have never known that the parents were beefing had Shamia not said what she said to Cynthia. You brought it. You brought that upon yourself. You brought it to the show. Despite whatever agreement you and Porsha had about y'all mother's friendship and stuff, you brought that to the show. Own that, and I hope that I hope Porsha brings that up at the reunion. Shamia said that she felt sad because she knew that it was the end of her and Porsha's relationship. She said that it felt like a divorce. She also tells us that she's going through therapy to navigate the group. I 1,000% understand where Shamia is coming from, because when you fall out with a friend, you lose a friendship, it hurts just as much or even worse than a romantic relationship, because even when you're off of that romantic relationship, your best friend is usually the one that is there for you. So my heart really, really hurts for Shamia in all seriousness, because I get it. Like, and I'm not just, I know I've harped on my best friend, like losing my best friend and all of that, but like I said, we're back on track. But there's other friendships that I've lost that hurt just as much. Like, even from like high school, I was hurt by my high school best friend, how she turned her back on me and we had fell off. Like, goodness, I understand it really, really does hurt, but she does have to take ownership in her part of the friendship crumbling. So Kay is like, you cannot meet wrong with wrong. And Shamia is like, well, I mean, damned if I do, damned if I don't. Like, when I do it, I'm still fucked up. And Kay is like, no, it's really both of y'all. So Shamia was like, well, I'll let her get her last lick in. I'm done. Shamia then brings up that she invited Porsha to her party. And she said she texted me back saying, girl, I'm not coming to your damn party. You're sick as fuck. Please move along. Enjoy. Duh. Like, you should have known that was going to be the response, because are you serious right now? Girl. So Kay tells her, well, you going to hate me even more because I can't come. Because basically she a Christian. Okay, we going to move on. Drew done put Pooch Hall, a.k.a. Dorman, back on our motherfucking TV screens. I said, now I'm ready to fight again. Because you bringing it up, Drew. You knew what you was doing by making this scene right here. You touching a sore spot for a lot of us game lovers, okay? Shout out to The Game. Y'all know that's one of my favorite shows. I know a lot of people rewatch it in their grown years and they're, dissecting and all of that. Hey, I like the show. It's my favorite show, okay? Well, one of them. It is what it is. So Drew is basically saying that she's taking every opportunity that comes her way because she is going through a custody battle with that man down in the basement. At first, when she was on FaceTime, I was like, is she talking to Ralph? But I said, that don't sound like him. So when they revealed that it was Pooch Hall, I was like, oh, okay. Derwin Davis, ding dong. Baby, he need to get back in shape. because he done lost it. He used to be a very nice looking man. Y'all, when I tell y'all that's one of my greatest fears, I never want people to circle back to me and see that I done fell off. That's scary to me, like for real. I always imagine like my class reunion and coming back and I done gained X amount of pounds and I don't look the same and just frumpy. A legit fear. But I can say, when I showed up to my class reunion, 10-year reunion, your girl was looking good, okay? So they couldn't say nothing to Sakina, you hear me? But anyway, yeah, baby, pooch, get in the gym, boo, something. Anyway, she said that she's preparing for her court date. And then she went as far as telling the people that she was, you know, reading her lines with, that she's preparing to get an Oscar. Drew is a working actress, right? She always booked and busy. We love that. But we also have to know our lane. You don't have Oscar abilities. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, okay? I know a lot of people still surprised that Tiana Taylor got her an Oscar. Was it an Oscar? Or was it a Golden Globe? I don't know. Regardless of whatever, she got an acting award, and a lot of people are shocked. I didn't watch the movie that she was acting in, but I don't feel like her acting is Oscar worthy, if we're gonna be honest. It's not bad, but Drew, know your pocket, baby, and stay in it. Moving on. Porsha gets Miss Diane a new home. No mortgage. She paid it in cash, and I think that is so amazing. That is great. I'm very happy for her, but we're gonna move on. Shamia's rum punch party. Her what? Rum punch party? Girl, what's that? Shamia's rum bum party, okay? Baby, she got her liquor only. And she wants everybody to taste it and sample it. She said that maybe this could be her apology to making the ladies feel uncomfortable. Shamila, give it a motherfucking rest. I'm tired. What are you apologizing for? Now you making me get louder than I was before. Like, enough of that shit. So, Shamia asked her partner, what's going on with the whole paperwork? And her partner is saying right now they're keeping a partnership, but they are separating everything because the owner has a lot going on in one contract. Something, child. So, I mean, everything still isn't fully on board from the sounds of it. The ladies start to show up, and Cynthia's first. She shows up as some glue. You ain't hold shit together in this group, Cynthia. You, baby, you should have picked something else. Maybe a roll of tape if you want to feel like you're doing something. Or glue, you are not. Then, girl, that was Nene's gig. I'm the glue to this. What she say? What was her? I'm the glue to my family and my wig. Something like that. Child, something. Wasn't that Nene's line? Y'all refresh me. Anyway, Picky shows up as a zombie, and that was symbolizing the relationship of the friendship group. Dead. And so, while everybody is showing up to Shamia's party, we see Kay and Porsha going out on a double date. Kay invited her out to bowl, and Kay brings up Porsha sending that text to Shamia. And Porsha, like, this bitch just showed my text message to you again. She is a habitual text shower. I said, Kay, why did you even bring that up, girl? This is going to be more of a problem. But anyway, Porsha was like, by the time you done went down, everybody in my family, like, girl, what did you expect? Of course, I was going to give you that type of energy. And so Mike is there with her for the double date. And Mike lies and tells Kay and her husband that he loves Porsha. Y'all not about to sit here and play on my TV. We going to move back over to the rum bum party. Oh, but I do want to say a side note. Kay looked really good, wig and all. Stick to this wig right here, because that flipped over blonde wig that you got in your confessional, yeah, no. Yeah, back at the party, Phaedra shows up as the godfather. I said, yes, Phaedra. She was looking real good. Kelly shows up as Wonder Woman with Jarvis, who is dressed as a motorcyclist. He has a helmet on his head. And even then, he has a ski mask over his face, so you can't really see nothing but his eyes. Now, Phaedra is saying that she's happy that she's seen him off camera, but she's wondering who he's hiding from. Maybe the creditors. Girl, just keep him off camera. If you're not going to show him, keep him off camera. And Kelly said that she's not only hiding him from the ladies, she's just hiding him for her own personal preference. He's not married or anything. Okay, we'll keep him off the show, girl. But we get introduced to Ashley. She was a fairy. Yeah. George Leprechaun, his wife. Yeah, she shows up. And I said, yeah, Shamia, let's put it all on the table. I like this move right here. Yeah, thank you. And so Drew shows up as Cowboy Beyonce. Okay, Cowboy Carter. And I thought it was Angela, to be honest. Had Shamia not said, is that Drew? I would have been thinking that was Angela. But we get a surprise. Kay's husband convinces Kay to show up to the party, which I thought was really nice. Like, okay, he must really like them for him to, be advocating for her to attend the party. Even this whole godly thing that Kay got going on, I'm not buying it. Because in her confessional, she was like, this is some rich devil shit. But I'm going to support her trying to be the breadwinner of a house that's already paid for. I felt like that was unnecessary, Kay. Just support her. Just say you here to support your girl, and that's it. Like, what was all of that about? And then you trying to act like you just so Christian. You and Porsha, all of that. Oh, yeah, God, and we da-da-da-da, all that. This is what be turning me off from Christians, to keep it a buck. Because y'all be picking and choosing, boo. Y'all don't be Bible thumping as hard as y'all mouths be trying to act. What y'all saying out y'all mouth don't align with y'all actions. Like, stop. So Shamia goes to toast, and again she apologizes to the ladies. Oh my gosh. And so Drew in her confessional was like, her apologies really don't land. She needs to take responsibility for her side of it and apologize to Porsha. Hello? Yeah, thank you. Go do that over there with her. And that's even if she want to hear you. Like, girl, we tired. So Phaedra asked Shamia, has she talked to Porsha? Of course, we know that they have not spoken. Shamia brings up her sending the invitation to Porsha and what her response was. And Cynthia was like, her response meets the situation. It definitely does. I'm not mad at Cynthia for saying that. I am kind of annoyed, but I'm going to be real. Like, yeah, what did you expect? And so Drew was like, that was a new low. Like, we don't want to be a part of it. We don't want to see it go that deep. And Kelly was like, But y'all thought it was cool when your Chi-Town bestie was making lies saying that she was cheating on her husband with this man, George. Hello? Wake it up. Call it out. Because everybody was on mute when it came down to Shamia being vindicated and coming up with receipts and all of that. Nobody said nothing when Angela was sitting there lying. And so Ashley was sitting right there with them. And so they was like, oh, you Ashley? So Ashley goes into the story of how Angela called her and was looking for tea. And while she's telling the story, Angela shows up as a cop. And so Angela sits down and joins the rest of the group, and Ashley continues the conversation. And Ashley said that she didn't have any tea, but her husband's name was used for something that was false. And so Angela was like, hold on, you're saying that I asked you for tea, but I asked you, did you know Shamia? And Ashley was like, yeah, I took that as you trying to get some tea. So then Angela goes into this whole, you asked her if she says that and she did that and he said that. I was like, hey. I was with Pinky. Because this is a big ass game of telephone. And when you start saying she said, he said, she said, and not giving names, that confuses me. And I feel like that's Angela's tactic. Yeah, you know how people say you got to confuse the enemy and all of that? I feel like that's what she was doing. She was trying to confuse the people. And she definitely confused me enough to not go back. Because what I do know and what I do stand firm in believing is that, Angela, you was full of shit. Okay? You was doing that to try to confuse the people. And so Kelly was like, that lie is just as short as your heel. Hey, but why did Angela have on kitten? She had on kitten heel thigh-high boots. Girl, what? What is that? Why is that? And so Angela said, it's as short as your lease on your house because that's your landlord pointing at Shamia. You gotta give it to Angela, though. The bitch is quick as fuck. And so Angela also said, you don't have a husband or a house. You should have just stuck with the house. Because that whole husband shit, wrong road. Like, girl, we still trying to throw niggas in each other's faces. Let's stop. When are we going to stop doing that shit? And so they bring the attention back to Ashley. And Ashley says that Shamia and George do not have a sexual relationship. And so Angela is like, now or previously? Actually, Angela should have got cussed the fuck out. If I was Ashley, I would have gave her a piece of my mind. But anyway, Angela then says that his name precedes you. Anything that I brought up preceded you. And so they bring up George because he's there. So they was like, yeah, come join this conversation. And Angela was like, I said that when you met Shamia, you had to pay her because that's what you said. And so George denies that, and he said that I would have never said that. And Angela was like, you said that at your event. Angela, what I want to know is why you are pushing so hard for this. Knowing that you had an issue with Phaedra and thinking that she set up this whole cheating rumor and this guy being at Kelly's event, you thought that she orchestrated that whole thing. You already know how that feels. But for some reason, you're so hell-bent on making this situation between George and Shamia an actual fact. That shit is so weird to me. You're also the same one who left Tennessee early because you overheard Porsha say that she would fuck your husband if you keep it up. But for some reason, you're trying your damnedest to prove this point. It's very strange. And so Ashley was like, even if he did say that he had to pay her, that doesn't mean that she had to give up some pussy for some money. Hello? Exactly. Thank you. And usually I don't like when, you know, women speak up for men because it'd be like, hey, let him speak. Because I don't want you to have egg on your face, you know, later on down the line. But that was actually a fact because I said the same thing when they were having that situation in Scotland. Like, girl, just because he said he had to pay you does not mean that she was putting out some puss. So George said, oh, yeah, I did say that. He said, I said it as a joke at my event. I was lit. And so Cynthia's like, so Angela wasn't lying. And Drew thinks that Angela was vindicated. No. Are y'all stupid? Because again, somebody saying that I had to pay does not equate to them having sexual relations. And Shamia had already told y'all in Scotland that he donated to her charity. There was a flashback, even though the ladies don't know the flashback, but there was flashback evidence of that. But why can't Shamia just say, no, he gave money to my charity and that be enough? Like, why wasn't that enough? And so in her confessional, Angela said, he said on the mic at his event that she was looking good. I had to pay her. Angela, shut the fuck up. Shut up. She is so tiring. And in her confessional, Shamia was saying that George did not say that. He actually said, Shamia don't play about her money. You got to pay her. Whichever way you put it, it does not mean that she had some type of sexual relationship with this man. And so Pinky was like, in her confessional, George do look like the type that's going to pay for some pussy. He do. I'm not even going to hold you. He do. But this is why I love Pinky, because she be saying the shit that we thinking, and she just funny as hell. And Kay, in her confessional, she does think that Ashley is too pretty to be with George, and it was definitely about the money. So Phaedra wants everything to just be tabled. This whole situation to be tabled. And Angela feels like she's ambushed every time she tries to rebuild with Shamia. And Shamia was like, yeah, I do want to be in a respectable place with her, but I'm not the one that's calling around asking for tea. So Angela then says, I didn't call around. I went next door. Boom. Yes, that's you admitting that you was looking for tea. So no matter how much you trying to trip Ashley up on her what's or whatever, you went looking for it. Okay, you got exposed when you called her in Scotland. And so Kelly was like, y'all's beef is just as short as Angela's heel, and they laughed it off or whatever. So at this point, they go into this whole booty molding match. Okay, that was cute or whatever. I think it does fit the theme of the party. So it's cute. And so the ladies are going around, and they have to guess whose ass is, you know, the mold that's being displayed. Did y'all see Kay's husband talking about some go Phaedra? What was that? You got a little crush on Phaedra? I don't know. We then heard Jarvis talking. I kind of wanted him to shut up, low-key. I don't know why. He was like, shut them up. But while these ladies are playing the game, Gerald interrupts and pulls them to the front. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, did he get her another car? They all go to the front, and it's a horse. I was so confused. And then Drew was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Because she's in her confessional telling us about this guy, Terry, who was at Pinky's skate party. Remember, her stylist was trying to put her on. She really wasn't stunting him for real. And then the ladies invited him to Pinky's party. Yeah, him. And so, yeah, he was at the event. Her stylist convinced her to go on a date with this dude. He was a no call, no show, of course, which made her even more embarrassed. Because, like, I don't even like this nigga. He had the nerve to stand me up. Bitch, are you kidding me? And so, I guess this was his way of, like, trying to make up or do some type of grand gesture. He brought her a horse. What the fuck is we supposed to do with this? I was so confused. I was literally confused. Kay thinks that it was staged and that Drew set this whole thing up. But my thing is, I think Drew was really embarrassed. I don't think that Drew has an interest to this guy. She seems very uninterested every time they show him. And I didn't understand, like, who set that up? But that's, like, a good question. Like, how did he know that she was going to be at Shamia party, dog? Call the cops. Call the cops. Because I don't get it. Anyway, that was the end of the episode, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Let's get down in the comments and talk. The finale is next week. It looks pretty interesting. I mean, we'll see. You know how they do on previews and stuff. They hype stuff up. But do not forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.